All right. Still experimenting with the best place to record these videos. So today I'm going to talk about the declension in German. Yeah, we've already talked about word transformation in the last video, and this is going to be the second technical video in English. So declension in German has two systems. One system is with the preposition and one system without the preposition. Okay, so I'm going to start with the system without the preposition. So remember we said that if you're viewing a play and you're very far from the stage, the producer can work with the colors of the costumes. So you always remember who is who, even if they move through the stage and they change position in the stage. So in German, the change of words, due to function, is very useful to recognize what the function is of a word, even if it changes position in the sentence. Yeah. So ich sehe dich, dich sehe ich. Yeah, you can use an SVO order or an OVS order. The possible colors the costume can have are called cases, and these cases are four in German: nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. I'm going to talk in this video about nominative only. Nominative is in German mainly for three things: for the subject of the sentence, for the predicative, subjective predicative information, and for isolated words that are not in a sentence. So what does nominative mean? Nominative means the situation or the case in which words are the subject. And what it means in terms of how words manifest is basically R-E-S-E. In German, er, e-s-e. So the paradigm is der, die, das, and die for the articles, the usual articles that we use. And for the pronouns er, sie, es, sie. Notice that the masculine der in the article ends with the same letter as the masculine er in the third person singular personal pronoun. And die ends with the same letter as sie. So das ends with the same letter as s, and sie, plural, ends with the same letter as die. So you have der, er, die, sie, das, es, and die, sie. R-E-S-E. So that's for the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence is the person or thing that performs the action, that imposes its will through the action onto an object, if you have an object, or simply the person or thing that conjugates the verb, which works for active and passive. Nominative is also for the predicative, for the subjective predicative information. For example, if you have a copulative verb, like to become, werden, or the verb to be, sein. For example, if you say, ich bin dein Freund, ich and dein Freund, they're both nominative. Ich bin der Freund, I am the friend. They're both going to be nominative because nominative establishes an equivalence in this case between the subject and the subjective predicative, whatever you're saying about the subject. So the verb to be establishes the equivalence between these two functions, and that's why they're both nominative. Then another copulative verb is the verb werden, which means to become. Nächstes Jahr wird mein Sohn Ingenieur. And in this case, mein Sohn and Ingenieur, they're both nominative because the verb werden, to become, my son will become an engineer next year. the verb werden is establishing an equivalence between mein Sohn and Ingenieur, and so they're both nominative. Nominative is used also for words that are isolated, that are, for example, isolated from a sentence context. A list, for example, a groceries list, Einkaufsliste, or in a dictionary. Yeah, they're going to be normally nominative. This is why people think that nominative is the standard case, but this is not true. It's not. There's no law that tells you that nominative has to be the standard for words. But because of editorial decisions, and because most words are normally expressed in nominative, and that's why it's called nominative. It's the case you use to name things. This is why it's considered a standard case, but it's nothing tells you it has to be like that. Very well. So in the next video, we're going to talk about accusative, but I insist, this is all without preposition. Yeah, with a preposition, I'm going to talk about that subject in later videos. Thank you.